Good morning, everyone. It is More Good News Wednesday. That's right. We don't call it Hump Day here. We call it More Good News Wednesday. Just on our way to more good news every day. More and more good news. Make room for the more good news by giving away what you have so more good news can come your way. Keaton, good morning as always. Welcome. And I see you there. Welcome, Jimmy. Good to see you. Cotton. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We got to get the Jonathan. Always good to have you in here. Christina, I'm going to see you soon. Hey, Zeus. The Dodgers won. It's a miracle, but they beat the Padres. It's been a while. We had swept them 4 in a row. Lori, welcome. Marissa, welcome. Kaleem, welcome as well. All right, we got the questions rocking and rolling. Jeffrey, I see you there as well. Let's go. LFG, what do you consider to be your biggest strengths? My biggest strengths: kindness, number 1; gratitude, number 2; my awareness, my refocus ability. All of those were strength. Somebody help me pin up David at dmeltzer.com. But even my weaknesses are strengths. I used to think my kindness was a weakness. Moved it to a different place, became a strength. Remember, it's not a strength or weakness, it's where it's at. So move what you have, the skills, the knowledge, the desire, to where it is a strength. You can't necessarily change your quantum being, your own personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions. So we're working from there. Very good. Here we go. Somebody please post up David at dmeltzer.com for me. Can you give a quick breakdown of what More Good News Wednesday means? Yeah, sure. So normally people call Wednesdays hump day, which is to me negative. More Good News Wednesday means that we're anticipating not challenges in a hump to get over so the rest of the week is easier, but we take a perspective of enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, that there's more good news coming, that we're expanding, growing, and accelerating at all times. And so More Good News Wednesday means that I'm in anticipation of more good news, not challenges, void shortages, and obstacles like a hump. I'm looking for more good news, and that's what the meaning of more good news is: changing your perspective to one of gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and living in inspiration. If you would like those 4 things, just email me, David at dmeltzer.com. Explained in my book. I'll send you an ebook. I'll send you an audiobook. I will sign a copy of my book and ship it to you and send it and pay for everything. All right? If you are launching a new business, how would you build the team? We'll build the team through values, gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication. Teach them the 5 daily practices, and then hire for skills and knowledge, and especially desire that they have and must be what they can be, aligned with, synergistic to, or supplementary to what I need within the context of those skills in my business. But they would have to be aligned with all of those, and that's the best way to do it. Where are we at here? One more question, then I'll bring David Spencer on. He is the founder and CEO of Talent Resources Sports. Everybody wants to work in sports. Keep the questions coming. Thank you so much. Great here. How do you find people on your frequency? Well, you don't find it. You got to be a hound. A hound is someone. How do we be found? Is a hound. How can we be found? And so what we want to do is pray to God for those 10 people that we can help and 10 that can help us, surrounding ourselves with the right people, the right ideas, more people with the open minds, open hearts, and open hands aligned at our frequency. So find the people at your frequency and hang out with them. They will find you as well. Start to send those out there. So looking for David Spencer, CEO of Talent Resources. Hopefully he is here. We will find him. Welcome. Jake Fleshner, I see that. Hello, Jonathan Busby's a big fan of yours as well. And we will get David on. I think he might need to, he's here. I think he needs to upgrade his IG. It will not allow me to go live. Maybe I'm wrong, but we are here. And we'd love to bring on David Spencer's Talent Resources Sports. David, please upgrade your IG. Jake, can you get him to upgrade his IG so we can bring him on? Here we go. Thoughts on Tim Grover? Amazing guy. I was with Tim Grover this weekend at the $100 million mastermind. Oh, there he is. That worked even better. Hey, what's going on, Dave?
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you and to share some time with you. I'm a big fan and a big follower of all the great advice and the great inspiration that you give to your follower base and people in the community. So honored.
Well, I'm honored that you said that because you're someone that has been bringing value to the community that I love so much, the sports community. I call it the backdrop of sports. And no one does that more than the people that deal in sponsorship, endorsements, understanding brands, and especially now at TRS with the new rule changes. I was wondering, how your business has evolved with social media and NIL.
Well, it's interesting. Consumer brands come to us because we offer an unbiased point of view on the athletes that we work with. We don't represent talent. I know that you have a lot of great experience having run Lee Steinberg's agency, where you're used to having your roster of talent and being able to sell those players across a number of different platforms and brands. With us, it's a little bit different, where brands are coming to us and we are trying to create opportunities on behalf of the brand instead of really on behalf of the athlete. So the brand is coming to us with very specific marketing directives, and we match the athlete with that brand based on proprietary software that we own, and we can comb through social media and make sure that the marketing directives match that specific athlete's audience. And that's not limited to sports, but also in the celebrity side that our sister agency, Talent Resources, runs.
And, in that evolution, one of the most interesting aspects that I found is now the athlete themselves are a brand and have their own brands. And some of those brands are even bigger than the brands that are reaching out to you. Do your analytics help with athletes who are their own brands or the brands of the athletes?
Absolutely. So we have those analytics to really go back and show the brand, hey, listen, it's obvious to, let's say, offer Steph Curry as a potential opportunity, but does his audience really match the brand's directives and what they're trying to achieve? So we're able to go back and show sort of key performance indicators in that community, which is Steph Curry's, to make sure that they match. So we rely very heavily on technology to back up our recommendations and show the brand what their potential ROI can be.
And one of the other issues is just understanding the size, scope, and scale of the audience now. And you and I have been working in this space for a long time. So, it was more guesswork because we were limited to an audience. And now it's the exact opposite. We don't know, because of the viral nature of the frequency or the brand, as you say, we don't know where that's going to go. And so we need to be able to capture the data to analyze, oh, okay, this is where it's going, how much time people are spending on it. Because in my terms, I always say you got to strengthen your signal, right? You got to know where the frequency of that spectrum that you guys are so great at acquiring, where that spectrum is so that the brands and the athletes match. But also, you have to have a clear message. So even if we have all the data, all the analytics, you and I have seen brands come in and their message is not going to equate, resonate, or be at the frequency of that audience. How has that been a challenge for you to articulate to them, the strength of the signal, the spectrum, and of course the clearer message?
Well, I think that's exactly correct. I think the key to conveying an effective message is being authentic and aligning with an athlete whose morals, whose fundamental values actually match that of the brand. And, there have been some marketing campaigns where some large-scale brands have leveraged the power of a celebrity, but it hasn't resonated because the brand is not really a fit with the athlete or with the celebrity. And I think the consumer is getting so much wiser in this day and age that they can see through that sort of facade. So the most effective message that's conveyed leveraging the power of celebrity and leveraging the power of sports is one that's authentic and that the athlete actually believes in. So when we're trying to make these matches for the brand, we're doing so much background research and making sure that the athlete really actually likes is somebody who's fitness oriented, or maybe does like candy and is advertising a certain a candy, or we did something with Neiman Marcus for the NBA draft with the #1 draft pick Cade Cunningham and a number of different draft picks, and we had to make sure that every single one of those athletes was somebody who's fashion oriented, and we wanted to maintain that authenticity. So that was extremely important for us to do that research and make sure that everything was aligned.
So when L'Oreal hired me to be a model for their Gray Away product, they were spot on.
Yeah.
So another thing I find so interesting, I study history, and let me tell you why. Because human nature never changes, and I love to study history to learn human nature, because I think that's been a superpower throughout my entire career in the technology business as Lee Steinberg, with Warren Moon in the marketing side of things. Understanding human nature is a superpower. Two things have come up as I've been studying and reading history, and it was the importance of Shakespeare. And I think it's applicable to what you do. So I'm going to give you two things that Shakespeare said. One is, the whole world is our stage. And the other, to thy own self be true. And those two components in your business, I see to be the cornerstones of the brand alignment with athletes. Can you explain what that means to you? I know what it means to me, but those two statements, to thy own self be true and the whole world is your stage.
Well, as far as the first statement, I think a brand has to be authentic to who they are, and they have to convey their effective message. A brand shouldn't be something that they're not really supposed to be, and deviate too much from their core mission. And what does that mean? Does that mean a health food company should start really getting involved in an athlete's sort of day-to-day activities? Absolutely, they should be on top of the athlete, and their core values should align with the athlete. But maybe the health food companies shouldn't really get involved in sort of political issues. They should really stick to what their core values represent. And as far as the world being your stage, especially, it's completely true in this day and age because of social media. And going back to something you said earlier is that the athlete has become so much more potent with their audiences because of social media. And that's one of the reasons we started our agency. Is back in the day, we used to align brands with different celebrities the old-fashioned way, by doing product placement, sending paparazzi out and trying to connect the dots that way. And now with social media, some more traditionally obscure people, or people that would have been obscure 20 years ago, now have a voice and have a platform. So social media has served so many different positive attributes for marketing, in that that social's able to connect everybody, but really give athletes, celebrities, and influencers a voice. It's really ultimately up to the discretion of those personalities on how they use their voice. Some use it really effectively and do good with it, and some are still learning, and it's in training. For our purposes, brands are coming to us to leverage our relationship equity and tap into the equity of athletes and their audiences. And we're really using social media and the experiential events that we build for that purpose.
Yeah, and I think we're living proof right now, you and I, two Davids, talking about Shakespeare in the context of sports marketing and advertising. So this is living proof of, as you say, two obscure figures that have some voice. I love it. Last thing real quick. One of the most overlooked things is something that you just mentioned, and it's part of the traditional sports business, but a lot of the younger people don't realize the impact of it, and that's the ability to capture that frequency. You were talking about using, paparazzi to capture the authenticity in the brand and the alignment and the things in an organic, authentic way. Old school, traditional billboards, radio, print, TV were great ways to capture things. One of the tricks of the trades that I learned at Lee Steinberg is we weren't interested in the sports section. We wanted our guys to be in the life section, the business section, the philanthropy, the Parade magazine. We wanted to feature in Parade. Those were the areas that would build a brand that was monetizable. It none of it happens unless you capture it correctly. But there's today a danger because everybody can capture it. It's not just the people we hire to put into print, radio, and TV. How have you managed that component, the traditional component of capturing the frequency, in order to, one, amplify the brand, but also protect it?
Well, I think like there's got to be accountability on both sides. There's got to be accountability on behalf of the brand, and there's got to be accountability on behalf of the athlete when they're representing a particular product and their particular brand. For us, the most important part is, again, maintaining that authenticity and making sure that there's a connection on the most fundamental level on behalf for the brand and for the athlete, and that there is an alignment. So again, when a brand
Oh, oh my goodness. And we just got it at the crucial moment. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, we lost everybody. Hold on. Might be on my side. Are we off?